Okay, so my family's been out of town for the last 6 days. Today's the last day. They're coming home tomorrow. Thank you, Jesus. But I have one last day to do something that'll be fun, a little scientific. We're gonna make lobster, Florida lobster tail, which is really a crayfish, not a lobster. We're gonna make it 3 ways because my son, who was over on Sunday, and I discussed what is the best way to prepare lobster. Here's the backstory. Since I was 16 years old, I've been going to get lobster in Key West. I don't know, that would be 41 years. I've been 35 times. Probably missed, yeah. So we go and we get a lot of lobster. We catch them ourselves. We actually drive a huge chest freezer down. I mean, we get a lot of lobster. Last year was a bad year, and in 10 days we got 198, and that was a bad year. So we have lobster all year long, but unfortunately my wife's allergic to lobster, so she doesn't eat it. And we've eaten so much of it, most of the family's kind of like, it's not that big a deal. We've cooked it many different ways. So we're going to cook it 3 ways, and then I'm going to taste test it and tell you which one I think is best. Now I'm cooking all 3. I'm going to use the exact same amount, salt, pepper, butter, and we'll see which one comes out best, in my estimation. And since I've been eating it for 35 years, 40 years, I probably have got a good taste, right? I mean, I should. You would think. I know, it's tough eating 3 lobster tails in one night. I will dive on that sword for you, just for you. So as you can see, I have 3 tails, similar in size. We're gonna do them 3 ways. We're gonna do 1 tail just baked. We're gonna do 1 tail on the grill. And we are going to do 1 tail sous vide. So the sous vide one has a lot more prep to do. Each one will be seasoned with 1 tablespoon of butter, here, and a ½ teaspoon of salt and a ½ teaspoon of pepper. That's it. Oh yeah, and some lemon. And we'll get those all done the same way, and then I will eat them. All right, we're gonna bake this tail. So what we're gonna do is, we're just gonna take my big knife. Now my son, he lived in New York for a few years while he was in med school. So I showed him how to do it this way. And he still thinks that this is the best way to have it. So what we're gonna do is, we're just gonna take that, take the smaller butter because it's not going to go away. We're going to put it in like that. Last but not least, here's our sous vide method. We're going to take, again, we're going to cut down the center of the shell. And we're going to pull it back. We're going to pull it back. We're going to pull it out like so. We're going to season it. Now what we're going to do is take our actually, let's cut it in half. We're going to take our butter. We're going to slide it in here. Then we're going to seal it in our bag with a little bit of lemon. And this will take the longest. We have to cook it at about 140 in the sous vide. 140 for probably about 45 minutes. All right, all we're going to do is take a couple of lemon slices, put it in our bag. Then we're going to take our lobster tail. I'm going to put it in there. Then we're going to seal it shut, and it's ready to go. All right, here's our baked portion. It's going to go in just a minute. Probably about 15 minutes. Let's look at what we have here. All right, so we have our baked. Oh, very nice. Not overcooked. Yeah, I like that. Not overcooked. Yeah, I like that. So now we're going to go for grilled. So our grilled, the salt is a little bit more pronounced. But it's really good. I mean, I like salt. All right. Now this is our sous vide. Now, if you notice, the sous vide part, the shell did not turn orange. The meat is cooked, definitely softer than it would have been wow. Interesting. Definitely a better flavor, but it's more earthy, more the flavor is definitely a lot more seafood forward. If you see that, yeah, that's definitely a lot more translucent. Oh my gosh, that's so good. So let's go back to the grilled piece. So the grilled piece has more salt to it, which isn't bad. Let's get a little butter on it. Well, all three lobster tails were very good. And of course, Daddy Pho cooked them very well. They were done properly. It's hard for me to say. I think that the baked lobster tail definitely would probably be what most people would have liked. The grills tend to be a little drier because the butter melts off of it as it's cooking. Of course, you're gonna have more butter, but it's a little chewier. The baked, because you had butter and it's rested in that shell, it just kind of bathed in the butter, that was really good. And I love the sous vide, but it is done through, but it's still, some people might be a little not into the texture. So I think it's a matter of personal preference. The bake didn't look as, the presentation was, was a little less, but because it's in the shell like that and that butter just melts into the shell, it just kind of cooks in the butter. It's really good. So maybe my son's right. Maybe baking it is the way to go. Sous videing is certainly cool. Cool process. You'll look like a faux chef. But all three I would eat all three and be happy with that. So subscribe to my channel if you want to learn some more tips, a little bit of information about food in general, or what Daddy Fo likes to eat.